Now, Amit, a big number is due to come out today. The September quarterly results of Bharti Airtel will hit the streets today. What are the broader expectations over there?
Start from the net profits. According to analysts, net profits are likely to be down close to 10%, around 9.7% what they're expecting year on year, from 2,145.2 crores last year to 1,936.9 crores this quarter this year. This despite a 11 to 12% rise in their sales. Revenues are expected to see almost an 11% jump to 38,259 crores this quarter, up from 34,526 crores the same quarter last year. EBITDA is also expected to jump around 13.4%, which is expected to come in at 19,956.6 crores this quarter, up from 17,593.8 crores the same quarter in the financial year 2023. Now, one reason for a decline in the net profits could be two. One is their decline in Africa numbers, and two, they are targeting a 5,000 crore market opportunity in its enterprise offerings, be it communication platform as a service, CPaaS, cloud, cybersecurity, and data centers. So plowback will be big, and therefore, the company is expecting 80% corporates to put up the 5G within the next 5 years, next 3 years.
So basically, they're building on that capacity for that 5G, and that's why we are seeing some sort of
the services that go with the 5G.
All right.
Yeah.
So probably that will be one of the reasons why profitability will take it.
One reason I can only speculate here.
And also additional provisioning for AGR dues.
AGR and the decline in the Africa business.
All right. Let's take this to Mohit Gang. Mohit Gang, co-founder and CEO at Moneyfront, is also joining us this morning. Hi Mohit, how are you? Good morning.
Hi Suyash. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Yes, sir. We were just discussing the expectations from Bharti Airtel. What are your broader expectations, sir? The numbers, do they add up from what we were discussing?
Look, I think more or less Street is expecting what you guys have shown on the screen. I think I'll be more keenly watching on the announcements, obviously pertaining to the Africa business. I think the Nigerian business particularly is the biggest business they have out there. And they have seen a profitability decline out there, and also a lot of Nigerian currency depreciation has kind of hit them out there. So that is one. I think what is the future outlook for that business will be keenly watched. Second is obviously, and the biggest item is the 5G rollout, their capital expenditure and their plans around that. I think that is what the Street is wanting to hear more about. But otherwise, I think on the revenue front, EBITDA front, I think more or less in line with the expectations. On the ARPU front, I think they will show an increase of around 2% from the previous quarter ARPU of around 200. They should go to roughly around 203, 204 rupees. So I think fairly in line with the Street. So it's all about the future announcements as to how they take up the 5G rollout and the Africa business.
Now, Mohit, the stock this morning is trading with losses of about 0.8% or so, but has given good bit of returns, on a year-to-date basis. I think it's up about 14% or so, outperforming Sensex and Nifty. What's the outlook on Bharti Airtel? Is it a stock that one could add in their portfolios?
Look, Suyash, finally, I think India is a data-hungry country, number one. Number two, it's more or less becoming a duopoly kind of a market. So you can always argue Vodafone is still out there competing for the pie, but I think they're losing market share by the day to Jio and Bharti. In terms of number of subscribers, I think Bharti will add another crore or so in this quarter. From 33 crores, they should go up to roughly around 34 odd crores subscribers. So my sense is the story of data consumption remains extremely robust in India. India per se is a market with lowest data rates across the globe. So I think there is a lot of headwind, as in there is a lot of headroom for the rates to also inch up, plus the data consumption to go even higher. With the 5G rollout, I think Bharti and Jio will become even more prominent. So it's never a bad idea to hold a stock which is a duopoly kind of a company in the country, right? So I think it's a good long-term bet.
Now, another company that will come out with its quarterly results today is Larsen & Toubro. Now, the stock overall Let's come to the stock. After that, I think Amit has got the expectations ready for us. Amit, what are the street expectations from L&T?
With L&T, the numbers are bigger. L&T net profits are expected to see a climb of 28% year on year to 2,849.1 crore this quarter compared to 2,229 crore the same quarter last year. Revenues are expected to again rise another 18% year on year to 50,278.3 crores, up from 42,762 crores last year. EBITDA margin is likely to see almost 100 BPS decline, marginal one, coming in at 10.5% as against 11.5% a year ago. So that is the numbers with L&T.
Mohit, I'm looking at the stock prices. I think it's trading, on a flattish note this morning. In the last 1 month, the stock has declined about 4%. But as we know, L&T has been on a bit of a fairy tale run in 2023. I think it's up about 41-42% or so, but has come under pressure lately. What are your expectations from L&T? Is it a stock that one can add at this price point, or should we wait for some correction, sir?
Look, Suyash, I think for L&T is a stamp on the Indian growth story. Look, you see L&T and you see the Indian infra story. It is like a bellwether stock which kind of shows what is happening in the country. It is one of those bigger indicators. If you see the stock, you can actually track the economy per se as to how the infrastructural growth is shaping up in the economy. So my sense is, look, I think with L&T, the revenue and net profit story will be extremely strong. On the margin front, yes, they'll be more or less neutral, is what the street is expecting, maybe a little negative on that front. But I think the net profit and revenue will show a superb increase. Plus, I think they're getting larger orders. For last quarter, what I know is I think they've taken some bigger orders from Aramco in Middle East, and they have got one or two
Yeah,
larger orders in that part
24,000
of
to
the world.
25,000 crore worth of orders.
Absolutely. Yeah. So the big order story is fairly strong and robust. The pipeline is fairly strong and robust. The way government is spending on this sector is extremely strong. They've also got one tunnel, very large order from MMRDA for a tunnel digging and all those kind of things. So I think L&T is a fairly robust signal on how the economy is shaping up. My sense is the infrastructure story is just about begun in this country. It's tip of the iceberg which we are seeing, and I think with increasing government focus on developing the infra across the countries, with more tier 2 and tier 3 cities trying to become larger urban centers, I think this is a secular story, right? You can always argue on valuations, you can always argue on execution, and hence so on and so forth. But for someone who's looking at a 10-year kind of a story, I think this is a great story to pick.
L&T looks like a good buy as per Mohit, a great story, and will add to India's growth story as well. Now, Mohit, last time you were here, you had advised to keep away from markets at least for some time now. In the last 2 or 3 sessions, we have seen a good bit of a bounce back in Nifty. Although, let me add that the bounce back that we have seen, the 300-point bounce back, most of it has come from only a couple of heavyweight stocks, your RIL and your HDFC Bank. Has that view that keep away from markets for now changed, or are you still on that same line of thought?
Suyash, I think I'll hold that view for another 10, 15 odd days, maybe. I would really want to see some amount of cooled off in the geopolitical situation right now. I don't see a cool off there. I see a daily basis, a slight bit of incremental escalation on a daily basis out there, which is a little bit of a worrisome scenario. I would also want to closely watch out the Bank of Japan commentary today. I think what is their action on the YCC, which is the yield curve calibration. I think that is what I want to watch, and plus the Fed commentary coming tomorrow, right? So I think there are a few larger signals which are out to come in the market this week per se. So along with geopolitical situation, with the Fed, Bank of Japan, and even Bank of England coming out with their policy this week, I think this week is a wait and watch kind of a scenario for me. And post that, I think we'll take a call. Though oil has been cooling off, but yeah, I'm still a little skeptical on the overall situation.
Now, Mohit, as you rightly pointed out, US Federal Reserve policy decision will come out tomorrow, and it will be keenly eyed by the street. Now, I think reading from a lot of reports, most of the analysts are expecting a rate pause this time around. What are your expectations? Are your thoughts also in line with the expectations?
I think, look, finally, the outcome of any central bank's policy is to see where the interest rates are already there in the economy and are they matching up to their levels. Even though Fed might not have raised it to a level, but the yield, the 10-year US yield has already inched up to a 5% kind of a level. It's currently at around 4.8, if I'm not wrong. So the yields have already shot up, and which is what the Fed wanted in first place. So my sense is there's no point for the Fed to raise the rates further and again create some mayhem in the bond front or the treasury market front. So my sense is yes, I'm also expecting that it'll be a pause for this time around till Fed watches further what do you say inflation data or the growth data in US. So I think it's a pause.
Hi Mohit, keeping the thought of keeping away from equity for some time, as you said, now gold is hovering around the 61,000 per 10 grams rate right now, but it has not hit its all-time high which it hit in May, which was around over 63,000. Do you think it's a time to go for gold right time at the moment instead of the equities, as you're saying, to keep away from them?
Look, Amit, I've been fairly bullish gold for some time now, to be very honest. I think gold is looking like an attractive buy given the geopolitical situation and other factors around the overall what do you say? I think gold has also given muted returns for last few years. So my sense is a rally is overdue out here. And but I'm very keenly watching the $2,000 mark. For gold to give us a meaningful return, I think it has to sustain a level above $2,000 for for a week or so, or maybe few days put together. Once it does that and considerably inches above that level, I think we can perhaps look for a rally in gold. It is also directly correlated with my view on equities right now, which is a kind of a wait and watch scenario for next couple of weeks. So I think if that scenario pans out on the equity, then I think the positive view on the gold should also pan out. However, markets can always surprise you on either side.
Mohit, also want to get your view on silver. Now, silver generally, follows gold's direction during a time of crisis, like we have seen in the past 2 to 3 years. And I mean, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have also seen silver outperforming gold. But now, this time around, given that we are in a situation where Europe could be possibly slipping into recession, do you expect that gold will outperform silver this time?
Very difficult to call that out, Suyash. Honestly, it's my sense is metals more or less follow each other. In fact, the commodity pack for last one odd month, if you see, has been showing some sign of strength. Though the data from China is still not very strong. I should put it out here that I think the Chinese services PMI and the manufacturing numbers, both which came around, I think a day back, were not fairly strong. Though Chinese government has again pledged to pump in more money in the markets, right? So my sense is, look, the metals have been showing some sign of strength. I think per se zinc, copper, these are few metals which have been showing some sign of strength for last one odd month. And if gold rallies from here on, which is what I'm expecting, then I think silver should also follow suit.
All right, that's the view coming in from Mohit Gang. Sir, always a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for joining us on First Take this morning.
My pleasure. Thanks.
But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of First Take. Keep watching News 9.